the United Nations and will be a constant affirmation of South Africa's commitment to continue to contribute to a better world for all. We thank you for having given room and space here in the United Nations precinct to have Nelson Mandela's statue adorn the walls of this building. As South Africans, we are deeply humbled and we are deeply grateful for this wonderful gesture. We are pleased that he will forever not only live in the hearts of South Africans at home, but also live in the hearts of people around the world, and particularly those who continue to come to the United Nations. We thank you for this wonderful gesture.
We thank the President of the Republic of South Africa for the remarks. And now we'd like to invite the President of the 73rd General Assembly, Excellency Maria Espinosa. You have the floor, ma'am, on behalf of the member states.
Your Excellency, President Ramaphosa, Madam Ramaphosa, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished guests this morning, it is a true honor and a privilege to me to be with you today for the official unveiling of the statue of Nelson Mandela. I thank President Ramaphosa and the government and people of South Africa for enlightening this House with the memory and legacy of a great man. Few people in history have left such an incredible mark on humanity. The legacy of Mandela, born out to the struggle against apartheid, grew to encompass not only the rights of the people of South Africa, but the sheer necessity of human rights for all. The statue that we unveil today is not done in mourning for his passing, as so many monuments are, but it's done in celebration and in deep respect and gratitude. This statue will stand as testament to Mandela and by extension to the values that he defended and fought for racial equality, for non-discrimination, and for the incredible value and dignity of human life. In his first landmark speech to the United Nations, Nelson Mandela made a statement that remains as relevant today as it did in 1994. The great challenge of our age to the United Nations organization is to answer the question, given the interdependence of the nations of the world, what is that we can and must do to ensure that democracy, peace, and prosperity prevail everywhere? It is my hope that the placement of this statue within the physical boundaries of the United Nations territory will serve as an inspiration and reminder to all member states, a reminder that our differences are to be celebrated, that our work and efforts, in whatever form they take, should always be guided by the inspiration of the promise that Mandela has left us. For us, he also said on that great same day, the millions across our globe who stand expectant at the gates of hope look to this organization to bring them peace, to bring them life, to bring them a life worth living. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
We thank the President of the General Assembly, and now we'll call the Secretary General, the landlord who gave us the spot where the statue is.
Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa, querida amiga Graça Machel, members of the family of Nelson Mandela, and I would say to all of you, all protocol observed, fellow admirers of Nelson Mandela. A name that will always inspire us in our common action. And I'm very pleased to be with you today to unveil this statue of one of humanity's great leaders. Nelson Mandela embodied the highest values of the United Nations: peace, forgiveness, compassion, and human dignity. He was a champion for all people, in his words and in his actions. He was willing to fight and die for the ideals he held so dear. When he achieved the pinnacle of power as president of his beloved country, Madiba set an example that will resound throughout Africa and the world. He stepped down after one term, confident in the durability of South Africa's newfound democracy. He did not pursue power for its own sake, but simply as a means of service. This humility is a hallmark of Madiba's greatness. The fight against apartheid marks a landmark in human rights and freedom. The credit goes to the people of South Africa, but the United Nations played its role, the role we should be proud of. And so it's more than appropriate that our headquarters should be honored by this statue. And I thank the President and the Government of South Africa for its generosity in donating it. From this day on, all delegates, staff, visitors, everybody in the United Nations will be constantly inspired by Madiba's legacy looking at this wonderful statue. Thank you very much.
We thank Secretary General for the remarks. We have 1.5 minutes left. Now, I would like to have dignitaries to come for a family photo. And then thereafter, there will be selfies, but in an orderly manner. So, can we have a family photo? Yes, G, can you come also nearer? Yes, G, come nearer, the Secretary General. Yes. Ministers.
It's okay.
Ministers, come nearer for a family photo.
I'll ask China. Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come out of that visual. What's happened there is that President Cyril Ramaphosa and the United Nations Secretary General in New York have just unveiled that statue that you can see behind of the late Nelson Mandela. The United Nations saying that it's going to serve as an inspiration for people as they pass that statue of the values that the man represented. We're going to go for a quick break.